Hello and welcome to Last Night from Glasgow with me, Ian Gilmour. Hopefully this will be a better performance than Scotland's in Kazakhstan during the week, but that shouldn't be too difficult. I think even people who aren't football fans know how bad that result was. Had we lost to Slovakia or something like that, I think people would be saying, is this bad? Are they good at football? But I don't think this defeat in Kazakhstan needs any context at all. Anyway, we've got a fantastic show lined up for you tonight as we bring you all the news from the showbiz world with our resident journalist Kayley, and we welcome special guests later on. One is a comedian. He's been on BBC's online platform The Social, and he's soon to star in BBC Scotland's Comedy Underground. Our other guest is from a new up-and-coming hardcore band in Glasgow. He's been described as a class bassist, and his deadlift, I've heard, is extraordinary. We'll be introducing our guests a little later on, but first we go to Kayley with our news.
Thanks, Ian. Apple have unveiled a video streaming service and have called it Apple TV+. The tech giants, best known for making iPhones, iPads and MacBooks, on Monday morning unveiled its plan for a new streaming and video service known as Apple TV+. We believe deeply in the power of creativity, CEO Tom Cook said from the stage of the Steve Jobs Theatre at Apple's Cupertino, California headquarters. Great stories can change the world, move us and inspire us, surprise us and challenge our assumptions. As part of Apple's videos efforts, the company have also unveiled a redesigned TV app that will soon be available on non-Apple platforms, including Samsung, Roku and Amazon Fire TV. 3 new posters from Spider-Man Far From Home were released on Monday morning. Spider-Man is seen in 3 locations in Europe: Berlin, Venice and London. Tom Holland is returning as the title character for the new film, which will be released in the UK on July 3rd and the US on July 5th. Also the cast of Jake Gyllenhaal as the villain Mysterio, Zendaya as MJ, Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes/Vulture, Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury and Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. That's all the news. Back to you, Ian.
Thank you, Kayley, for all our showbiz news. We'll see you again next week. We're going to take a short ad break now, but after that we'll have our special guests. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Steamy windies in here, eh? Nice rug, Mum. It's hot on the inside of a cheese toastie in here. Do you mind? Mr. McTaggart, looking trim. Keeping active.
Welcome back to Last Night from Glasgow. Now it's time to welcome our first guest to the show, and we're going to do that by showing you a little teaser of his work. Watch this.
Being a delivery driver comes with its fair share of problems, and trust me, it goes well beyond just the tip. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Taryam Boyd. So for the first 5 years in my school, everybody just thought that I was black. And we had this one black janitor called George, and every day when he would come out onto the playground, every other pupil would go, "Ha ha, that's your dad."
In 260 yards, turn right onto Burnfield Road.
You would take me there.
What's wrong with it? Every day, their height.
So my granda came into my room and he chapped the door and he went, Turi, you better wake up. It's 12:15. 12:12? He went, aye. I went, what day is it? And he went, what day is it? Yeah. And I went, And my gran for the kitchen was like, it's Monday, you fucking pair of dementia cases. Go to your bed, it's 12:12.
It makes me sound a bit like a prostitute, but we'll go with it.
Being a dick.
Massive dick.
Please welcome Taryam Boyd. Taryam, thanks for joining us.
No worries, man. Good to be here. Good to be here on the first LNFG, as the kids are calling it.
So, Taryam, first things first. When did you decide you wanted to be a comedian?
Whoa, tricky question, man. I didn't start off as a comedian. I actually started off as a child actor. My career peaked at 14, and it's been all downhill for there.
So what were the big credits then as a child actor?
There was only one credit. What was it? I was in an advert about child abuse, which was great, mate. Should have seen me 10 years old, some of my best work. And then I spent a couple of years in River City, which was very fortunate for me because I was from 14 to 17 that I was there. So as I was growing up into a teenager, I was also on the telly That was class. They loved it at parties. Are you on the telly? Aye. Tanner vodka. Beautiful. But after that, man, I got a very lucky break when I was very young. So I expected then that straight after that there would be all sorts. There would just be acting jobs for days. Like, fame was a guarantee. And then when nothing came in, it was like, oh, what's happening here? So I messed around. I did a couple of normal jobs, and I hated them all. Hated every one of them. If the Hard Rock Cafe is watching this, hated working there. But eventually I decided that I don't want to do normal jobs. I'm not worried about that. I want to do something I'm passionate about, something I care about, and what I've always cared about is telling stories and entertaining people, and that's what kind of naturally led into comedy.
So do you think there is that kind of link then between being a comedian and then going from being in films or acting into being that kind of in that comedy role?
I definitely helped with the performance side of it, because I had been doing plays for I was 4 years old. Little Angel, Primary 2, smashed it, man, killed it. So I was very used to having eyes on me. For somebody who's never been in front of a crowd, their first 6 months in comedy is just their brain going, why are all these people looking at me? So they need to get used to that. By the time I started comedy, I was ready to be in front of a crowd, I was ready to perform, so I had a bit of a head start, which was a beautiful help to me, and it really helped me get things kicked off very early on.
So I think the big question comedians always seem to get asked is, do you get heckled? And then what is the worst heckle you've had? So we'll start with that then. Do you ever get heckled?
Heckling has become this kind of mythical idea, and I hate it, because then when people are going to the comedy, they'll go, oh, I'll heckle. Don't do it. There's no use. Everybody gets heckled, of course, because comedy nights go hand in hand with alcohol, so everybody gets steaming. And I know the feeling, because when I went to comedy before I was a comedian, I was dying to get involved. I wanted to be the star of the show. Fuck that guy that's doing the what? Can we swear on LNFG? Yeah. Fuck that guy that's up there working and honing his craft. Me, this audience member, I want to be the star, so I get it. I completely get it. However, just don't heckle. Just don't heckle. I don't get heckled that much because I'm a very high energy comedian, so they don't have the gaps and the pauses to get in, because anytime they're thinking about heckling, because a heckle doesn't just happen naturally, it builds up like so slowly, and then it comes out and they don't know where to put that, because I go rah, 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 rah. The worst heckle I ever had was a gong show, which is basically, for everybody who doesn't know what a gong show is, it's like comedians go up, they've got 2 minutes to entertain, and then after that 2 minutes, if the audience don't like you, you're off and you're lost. So I was up, I was doing a gong show, and there was a guy in the front row, no heckling, just rattled, steaming, didn't have a clue what was going on. So it wasn't that it was heckling, it's that I'd go, so I grew up in Castlemilk, and he'd go, aye, Castlemilk, boy, big ones, I've come to me. Nobody could hear my punchlines, nobody could hear what I was saying, it was hell. At one point I ended up whipping them with a mic cord, like some sort of reverse Django. It was insane. But, however, a very good comedian friend of mine helped split, so we both won it 50-50, which was on him. So, cheers, Ian.
Thanks for that, Taryam. So, we know you've done some work for BBC's The Social. We're going to take a quick look at that.
Oh, class.
Today, I'm going to let my mum take control of my online dating profile. First thing you want to do is select my photos.
No. Nobody wants to see
What's wrong with it?
No.
These are solid photos.
Do you? I'm probably taking this a lot more serious than you would.
About me. So, what information do you think I should be trying to convey? So a lot of people put their job title, their ideal date, their height.
Feel your pain in the height, big man. That's it. Yeah. I've got my desk here that makes me look so much bigger than I actually am. That's
I've got a wee couch that makes me look proportionally bigger. It was good. It's handy.
Brilliant. So, how did you get your mum involved with that then? How did that conversation come about? What was the?
It was actually suggested by one of my producers. It was originally that he'd seen some stand-up that I'd done about living with my gran, and he asked for Valentine's Day coming up, would my gran take out my Tinder profile? But my gran, she doesn't want the spotlight, she doesn't want him to know who she is. She's cool being the gran. My mum, however, was much more willing, so I love that video. I really love that video because it's about 3 minutes long, but it was like an hour-long shoot, and we really went on a roller coaster of laughter and then relationship advice and then me opening up, and became a really a therapy session in the end, because when have you ever sat and spoke for an hour with your mum just about your dating life? It never really happens, man, but it was wonderful. By the end of it, I felt like we'd really bonded, and the moments you see in that are all real. None of them are scripted or staged, so I love that video. I really love that video, but it was originally BBC that pitched it.
And when you first get involved with the social, how did that come about then?
Pure coincidence, man. As with everything else that's happened in my life was pure coincidence. I went to college with a good friend of mine, Roisin, who was working, doing an apprenticeship at the BBC, and she said, you would be good for the social, and I was like, oh no, man. One of the best things I've ever done, man. I love the social. I think it's great. I think there's so many different types of people on there, and people who wouldn't have got a voice and a platform before. I think it's class. I know people go, oh, the social, just put up Bish, and I'm like, well, where else is it going to go? That's people with, you know, unique contrasting opinions on the BBC. The BBC, talking about, like, fingering and stuff. That's wonderful.
And staying on the BBC, you've got a new show coming up, or you're going to be on a new show. Tell us about
There's a couple of new shows coming on. There's a couple of new shows coming on. There is going to be the Comedy Underground, which is I think is made by Dabstop Productions. It was filmed in Edinburgh there at Gilded Balloon, so that'll be on in May. It's like basically it's the first stand-up show that's been on in Scotland in time. It's like a much smaller live at the Apollo. That's coming up. I went on a dating show, man. I did a dating show. Went on 3 separate dates at 3 separate occasions. It was rough, man, but it was really good. It was wonderful. That's called Date or Mate, and that's not been commissioned yet. Cut that, it's secret. No one knows that. So yeah, just the Comedy Underground coming up, man. Yeah, really looking forward
Fantastic.
to it.
So be sure to watch Taryam on BBC Scotland on Comedy Underground when it airs in May. So join us after the break as we welcome our second guest. See you after this.
Life is for the living, they say. Don't be like the old ones with a glaze, who never gave their hand to the calling, who spoke only of time wasted. Hear that most. Use it. Take flight.
Welcome back. We now welcome our second guest to the show. Here's a little introduction. Please welcome to Last Night from Glasgow, the bassist from Perdition, Gregor Stirling.
Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, mate. Oh, thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us, Gregor.
Thank you for having me.
So, tell us a bit about the band.
The band kind of started through a bunch of my pals. We all live in the same kind of area, and we knew a bunch of different people from Glasgow. We struggled with a drummer for a while. We found a drummer a couple of months ago, and now there's 5 of us, and we're making music. Looking forward to releasing the EP next month. So
brilliant, fantastic.
Good stuff.
So a lot of people who haven't been to a hardcore gig might not know what to expect for that. Could you just tell us a bit about what you can expect for a kind of hardcore gig?
You can expect heavy music, kids try to be trendy, battering each other. That's about as much as you get. People wearing expensive clothes and throwing themselves at other folk. That's it summed up to a T. You get a bunch of people standing back, though. If you try to enjoy the music, you might get hit in the face. That's what the kind of branding that comes with a hardcore show.
Now, I think we've got a clip of you from one of these gigs. Should we take a wee look at that?
Oh. Have we knocked in yet? No, I'm still going. Oh, there we go.
So that's a bit mad. Tell us a bit about what happened there, what was going on.
It was my pal's band playing a free show at Block in Glasgow. I was a wee bit drunk, got a wee bit too rowdy for my own good and got hit by a right hook. So I went down like a sack of tatties.
So you're saying you went down like a sack of potatoes, but I hear that you are the finest deadlifter around.
Well,
is this true?
Yes, I actually am close to becoming Scotland's strongest man. I'm only Marc Boyd, training with Larry Wales and Thor right now. He's about 450, and I ain't gonna take him there this year. Honestly, I think I will. I could deadlift anything in this room. You can tell me.
So you just show me the form to start with.
Right.
So for somebody who's ignorant like myself, what is good deadlift form?
Okay. So you never want to arch your back. If you arch your back, you die. That's just what happens.
Straight back and then down, bent knees.
The perfect way you want to do. Let's imagine there's a bar here, right? Let's pretend. What can we use? Let's use this bit of paper. This is the bar. You want to have your feet under the bar, 3/4. Just next to your laces. Bring your arms down, just outside your feet. One like that. So you're going different kind of grip. Bring your knees into the bar. Push your chest out so your back's straight. Push your knees out, and then pull up your body.
We look like the worst boy band in the world.
And you need to lock it in. That's what you do. You need to have that straight back or you die. Remember, you die.
Okay.
So what's the heaviest you can lift?
Probably about the same kind of weight as this man.
This is the heaviest, because I'm 55 kg, mate. That's not.
Could you lift, Taryam?
I reckon I could, like, aye.
Yeah.
Do you want to lift it, Taryam?
Yeah, I'd be up for that. Yeah,
let's see it.
Right. So the grip, it's all about the grip. If you don't have the grip, you don't have nothing. So
try my best impression.
I'll put one here. You got to grab my arm as tight as you can.
Okay.
And we'll see how this goes. I'll need to get in here.
Yeah. Right. There we go. What? Oh, as if it was nothing.
We'll go for another one.
Good. Oh, let me whip it. My party trick as well.
Brilliant, thank you.
Oh, no, I didn't get it. I'm embarrassed myself on telly.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So, thanks for that, Gregor. Perdition play next week in audio in Glasgow at 7 p.m. So get yourself down there if you're interested in hearing the band. So thank you, Gregor Stirling, everybody.
Thank you.
And now that's the end of our show. Thanks very much to our guests, Taryam, and to Gregor, and of course to our resident journalist, Kayley. And here to play us out is our music and titles. It's quite disappointing. You've been watching Last Night from Glasgow. I've been Ian Gilmour. Good night.